go. This is it. Commsverse TV 2025 is off, and we've got Audiocodes in the house, and we'll introduce you in a little minute to Jason or Jay. Jason or Jay, which is it?
It's Jay. My mum calls me Jason. Everybody else calls me Jay.
Actually, my mother's the only person that calls me Stephen, and I keep telling everybody that she kisses me goodnight, so they then go back to Steve quite happily. And we have Anouck. Hey.
Hey. Yes, we are back here again.
And that's where the camera is, because we keep forgetting. We've got all these wonderful monitors in front of us and everything else. So you're going to see us looking down, and away we go. So, Jay, it's not the first time we've spoke like this.
It's not. I'm sure at one stage, didn't we talk? It was like whiskey talks or whiskey something. I can't remember. Don't know.
You mean you can't remember? Oh wow!
If you have talking to Steve, whiskey is probably one of the things you have talked about.
It probably was actually. I mean, we've been doing Commsverse now for quite a few years, so yeah, I think we've done a couple of sessions together.
We did. I think we did the podcast in the first year. And last year we missed you for some reason. We didn't do Audiocodes last year.
No, you did, but you actually did it at Commsverse. So you actually had a booth set up, didn't you?
We did, yes. And we've got that again this year. So we will be live at Commsverse. We've got 7 or 8 sessions scheduled, depending on who's listening.
Something like that, yes.
And they'll be live. So I'm sure we'll also speak to you again then. Depends on your marketing team, of course. And I think last time you were in a different place. It looks like you've upgraded your room.
No, so my actual office is being revamped. I'm having it all insulated, underfloor heating. It's actually a cabin that's in the garden. So I've actually temporarily moved up, which has been temporary for about a year and a half, into one of the spare rooms in the house. So this is temporary. In a couple of weeks' time, I will be back down in my dedicated office.
Dedicated office. Sounds like a positive. Well, this is Sci Studio. So we're halfway through renovating all of this. We thought we'd have you on the big screen at the back there, but that didn't happen. Awesome. So we're learning as we go along. So all part of the fun. So you're renovating your shed in the garden.
No, it's not. What
That's what we called it last time. I remember that now.
Oh, you did call it. I think actually sauna was used as well.
Might have been, yes, because it was beautiful wood.
Yeah, and I mean it's there's a whole combination of things. We had a really bad storm one year, and it ripped part of the roof off. When we had really high winds, about 120 mile-an-hour winds or something, and it took some of the roof off. So I had to have the roof completely rebuilt. And so I'd actually moved out for that, and then my son came back from university and stayed in there for a little while. Because he wanted to be out of the house, oddly. And so I've moved back down, and I just thought this year, that's it. I'm going to get it changed back into a proper office, and it's going to be my studio. So I have all the cameras set up, all the microphones, all the lighting correct. It's going to be plastered now, so it won't be a sauna. Although you'll probably still refer to it as a sauna.
Well, when I put this together, when did I move in? Last June. So it's been about, I guess, 11 months. But just before I bought the house where the studio was, the landlord or the owner said, we've got a bit of a problem. So when I came down here, the roof of this room was actually on the floor. It had all flooded and leaked. So,
wow.
For 4 months I had to completely rebuild it. But it's quite a cool place now. The only thing you can't see, but just to my right here, there's a window that's going to be turned into French doors onto the garden. So summer barbecues from the studio. Yeah, it'd be cool. It's good having your own studio. It's fun.
It will be a while before that will be fixed.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm looking forward to it because I'm having it all properly wired out. So all the wiring's behind the walls. I'm having speakers built in. I'm having cameras built in, TV built into the wall. So I can have all my sound equipment up because in a previous life I used to do a bit of amateur music making.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm going to pick that hobby back up, and so I'll have everything sort of set up properly, and no more sort of dragging things out the cupboard when I fancy having a play around. It will all be there ready to use.
Oh, well, you should come over. When you're in Belgium, we'll have a look, because I've got my multi-core box up here and the control room is over there, and I run all the Persona stuff. So I have the fader port 16 and everything else. So yeah, I do the same kind of thing, but I don't play instruments. I've tried, failed miserably, but I do the engineering. So
No, I don't play instruments per se. I more mix other people's music.
nice.
Also,
Should
the
be you and I,
engineering from it, yeah.
which bores you to
Yeah.
tears.
Yes. You have noticed that when we were in Seattle, yeah.
We'll talk about audio codes in a little bit. I will tell that little story because it is a bit fun. There's a pop culture museum in Seattle if you ever get a chance to go. I don't know whether you've been and you know it or not, but on the top floor they have like control rooms, little booths where people can go play guitar or keyboards or whatever. And there was a control room with a little mixing desk and a do-it-yourself exercise where you could remix down one of the famous tracks. And I was going, oh yeah, so come on, do this. And it took about 3 minutes before her eyes glazed over. And
I said, all right, this is done. Been doing it, done. Not going to go there again.
Yeah, it's all part of it.
No, I've only been to Seattle once, and it was for a managed services convention. And the only place they took me was to the tallest building in Seattle, where on the top floor is a restaurant and a library and like a gentleman's smoking room. You know, it's just absolutely stunning, the views. But on the occasion that I went, it was completely cloudy, apart from 2 sort of 3-minute segments. And apparently that's just Seattle. You know, 1 minute it's completely clear, the next minute it's cloud. But it was absolutely phenomenal. Just looking over the bay, and then you can look over the football ground. It was actually incredible.
No, it's neat. All right, so it's been a year since Commsverse, so I'm guessing things have changed at Audiocodes. I suppose first of all, we perhaps should just tell people what you guys do.
Well, that's a very long question, actually, Steve. So for those that know, you know, Audiocodes have been around for about I would say 25, 27 years. You know, our heritage came in the actual production of chips, and which moved into kind of modems, and then more the kind of media gateways, session border controllers, and that's where we sort of cut our teeth. But I would say for the last kind of, it's got to be easily 18, 19 years, we've been working very closely with Microsoft and constantly developing the Microsoft UC solution from the old Office Communicator, is that right? I think that's right. And then Link and Skype, and obviously Teams. And we're still evolving, you know, the applications as the solutions, you know, grow more mature, the requirement changes. And obviously now, more recently, we're seeing a lot of convergence across multiple different sectors. So it's kind of really fits well with what we do. And, you know, one of our USPs is that we're, I think, the only company globally that can provide a true end-to-end solution for Microsoft Teams. Sure, you can get different components from different providers, but rarely can you get everything from one provider. And we're, you know, we're pretty good at, I think, everything that we do. We certainly, you know, we're the most recognized brand when it comes to sort of session border controllers and the connectivity piece. Last year was a big year for us. We won 2 awards with UC Today and CX Today for 2 of our AI applications. So, you know, you don't have to take our word for it. You know, our products stand on their own.
He said the magic word, AI. So AI is all over the place. How much did it change Audiocode?
Well, you know, we've been working on developing AI solutions for quite some time. It's not new, certainly not new to us. I'd say we've been ground up wrote Voca, which is an AI contact center. It started out as a conversational IVR piece, which has just evolved and it's grown in the requirements that we get from partners. That's kind of been built into that as well. The same as Meeting Insights, which is the sort of business productivity virtual assistant for Microsoft Teams. You know, these 2 solutions, you know, we've been working on for, I'd say, Meeting Insights probably 3 to 4 years. So, you know, it's not a new thing, but what we are seeing, I think, widely out in the marketplace is a lot of organizations are still trying to understand, you know, what AI is and how it's going to fit their business. And, you know, I met up with some analysts in Barcelona this year, and, you know, just chatting away to them. And I said, look, you know, I think what we need to do is take a few steps back and go back to when we were like, consulting with companies about the use of Skype for Business or Teams.
Yeah.
And actually, what they need to do is kind of democratize AI and understand who needs what, rather than
how
saying,
it fits into their existing processes and what they're doing.
Exactly, because it's really difficult to find those use cases when you think, well, everybody's got to be in or everybody's got to be out. Well, that's not the case at all, because there are some elements which are going to be right for an admin. There's other elements going to be right for somebody as like a power user. Somebody's out on the road. But there is this kind of fear or concern that actually by introducing, it's the age old, introducing new technology, is that going to just upset things and actually reduce productivity because there's a big learning curve? I would think there's that potential. If you rolled out, some of these AI solutions to your complete workforce, they'd probably spend, weeks, if not months, trying to understand how that can improve their productivity, which in turn is going to slow down productivity. So really, you need to kind of profile your workforce and actually understand what it is they need and how they're going to use it. And there's, once again, Audiocodes has come up with some steps that can actually simplify that process and make it a much painless implementation, rather than just going out and buying, very expensive licensing or expensive solutions.
Yeah, when you were talking about products, Steve had just a little aha moment. We are working together for for a customer, and he's using Meeting Insights. So,
okay.
And from that we know the product and we are seeing what it does, and the notes are very good with it.
Yeah, for me, I was going, who started the meeting off? And there it was.
I do you know what, the best thing I think about it is the summaries that you get. I'm old school, and I prove that I'm old school. I still use a notebook and pen. However, exactly. But now, and I say now, more so with Meeting Insights on all my calls, I don't have to do that. I can actually really immerse myself into a meeting and talk to the people that are actually in that meeting, share my opinions, share my thoughts, talk about action points, and afterwards you just get the summary, and it's brilliant and it's so precise. So the news for this year, for 2025, what we've actually done, we've taken Meeting Insights and we said, look, this is a fantastic product. We know organizations are finding it difficult to understand how that sits within their portfolio. So let's just take some elements of Meeting Insights and create a product called AI Summaries. Now, this solution is linked to meeting rooms. Okay, so for it, you can now buy any meeting room solution for Microsoft Teams, and you will get for 6 months AI summaries completely free of charge. Okay, now it's licensed per room. So suddenly it's super attractive because it's about, I think the retail price is $25 per room. So if you've got 100 people
for a whole year,
for a whole year.
So seriously, I was being sarcastic, trying to let you in there by going, no, per person, per room rather, per month. But no, for the year. Wow.
No, sorry, correction. It is $25 per room per
month.
Yeah,
that's okay, but still cheap at the end of the day.
It is still cheap. If you've got 100 people within your business, and let's just say, 60% of those are actually using that meeting room. You divide that $25 by 60 people, and you're just talking very, not even 20 cents per user per day. Okay, and from that, we recommend you set it up as a kind of as a resource, the room as a resource. So at the end of the meeting, you just press one button and it will fire out a complete summary that you've seen with Meeting Insights, and it sends you that summary of everything that happened within that meeting. It's not as immersive as the full Meeting Insights, where you can get video capture and content capture and that kind of stuff, and you can do fancy search things. But remember, this is a building block. This is a starting point for organizations to be able to use AI and go, do you know what? That's fantastic. Our admins can use AI summaries, but actually our power users, we'd like them to have something different. That might be Copilot. Okay, I can talk about that freely and say, Copilot might be a right fit for one organization, but some organizations might say, well, we've got an intermediate where we want Meeting Insights, and that's going to fulfill the needs of those people. And then our real power users, they can have Copilot because that's going to give them the full M365 experience across the applications.
Agreed. Increase the value.
So, exactly. So we're just trying to, provide that democratization piece and allow organizations to really understand an element of AI that will improve their productivity. There's very little cost to them. In fact, like I said, for the first 6 months, completely free of charge. And then after then, it's $25 per room per month. If you take out additional equipment, then you're going to be able to extend those licenses for free, okay, for a further period. I think it's 3 months, but don't quote me on that. That's a sales thing. But then, you may look at then other products and say, well, actually, our power users really love this and they'd like the feature to be able to share content with their customers.
Yeah.
They want to be able to share PowerPoints with their customers or PDFs with their customers through the meeting interface. And that's then Meeting Insights, because of the actual, I think one of the key advantages of Meeting Insights is that you can seamlessly share content with external recipients. I should also add, and I'll get pulled up for this if I don't mention it, that with AI summaries, some key elements here. One, we talk about budget, the low cost to entry, okay, but two is security. Yep. Because that's one of the biggest boundaries that we've come across, is that a lot of organizations will look at it and go, oh, we've got to get our comms people involved, we've got to get our security team involved. Well, you don't, because it just uses a chatbot within the meeting. There's no data at rest. There's no implications or requirements from your network in terms of port opening or anything like that, because it just uses Teams. Okay. And then post meeting, once that email has been received and opened, then it's completely wiped and deleted. Okay. So no security, there's no boundary or there's nothing to stop implementation through security, which is a lot of concerns with a lot of organizations.
And is all the information kept on the customer tenant? Or is it actually partly with you to do the processing and then deleted?
With AI summaries, it's within the customer tenant or within Azure, okay, and then it's deleted. Okay, we don't hold anything, okay.
Got it.
And there's not an option with AI summaries to keep the data either. It's purely once the meeting's ended, it's
processed and deleted.
Processed and deleted.
Cool.
Obviously then if that's a feature that an organization says, look, we love this, we love the fact we get these AI summaries, but we want to be able to collate them and then look through them, then that's, that again is then a reason to look at Meeting Insights, the full blown product, and actually have those additional features.
So how does who actually has access to the summary? Just the members that were invited to the meeting, I guess. They get notified and they receive it.
You get an option. You can, by default, you can set up a group. So it might be your admin group, okay? And then you have members of that group, okay? That's probably the easiest way to manage it, because you can have them remove people very simplistically through your Active Directory. Or you can just have it fired out to one individual. So if you've got, a receptionist, and maybe she's dealing with it, might be a small organization that just has a receptionist and it goes to her email, and then she might decide who then she forwards that on to. It's a little bit more cumbersome than having just a group or a room account, but it's down to the organization. Essentially, the chatbot just fires it out to one email address after the meeting. And
can you choose one of the members of the team to do that, so it's fully automated, so the meeting owner gets it, for example?
No. But it have to be the same meeting owner every meeting.
Yeah, okay. So there's some improvements to be made then. Can I claim that one when it comes out on version 2?
Well, there is an option at the end of the meeting that you can actually manually specify an email address. So you could actually technically fire it out to one person if you wanted to, rather than being the default.
Yeah, I think, I just think I was about to say sign me up. I think I might go give this a trial or whatever. But for me, because IT nowadays especially looking for more automated things to have less sort of hands-on, creating less technical debt, I wouldn't necessarily want it to go to a group that then has to process it. So an option where it can go to the members of the meeting seems default to me. But I do understand it, because it also separates it from anybody's account and therefore anybody's ownership. And if it's a meeting room, of course, you don't want it in somebody's OneDrive or something. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, nice. It's where we kind of looked at the security element and said, look, how can we best manage this without, security saying, no, it can't sit there, or it can't be there, or it can't be in somebody's OneDrive, know. And this is the best way to. It's down to the organisation how they want to manage where that the meeting summary is going to go.
Yeah, you're putting it into a point where it can be controlled and managed, and you've got all the auditability that goes with it. I get that. Nice.
And I said it's it's available now. It's completely free of charge for the first 6 months when you buy an Audiocodes meeting room solution. Okay, so that might be the RXV81, the single-use bar, the all-in-one bar. Okay, which also can be a BYOD device. We will be showing these, by the way.
I was going to ask that question. Yeah. So what are you going to bring to Commsverse?
Well, we took up Commsverse offer to be in the dedicated Teams meeting room area.
Oh, you're going to have a room. Nice.
So we're going to have a room. We're going to be in the large room. I think it's there's just 3 exhibitors going to be in that room. We're going to be showcasing our 65-inch touchscreens, the RXV81, the RXV200 with the 2 AI cameras that we've got, the RXV70, Cam70, and the RXV Cam 360. Oh my God, I wish they'd come up with better names, but
they aren't names, they're just numbers, mate. They're just SKUs.
That's right. So all of this will be actually within that room. So you'll be able to come and see it all, plus AI summaries. You'll be able to actually see that in working. But we also have a team on hand to take you through meeting insights for those that haven't seen meeting insights and the summaries and the information, detailed information you get from that. And of course, let's not forget Interaction Insights, which is our call recording application, and also Voca, the contact center solution. So all of these things will be on display and be able to demo them actually on our booth.
Nice.
That's a lot.
It is
We've got a lot going on. This is the problem when I said we're true end-to-end solution for Microsoft Teams. We literally provide everything you could possibly want to enhance the customer experience, user experience, and of course productivity. And that's really what our slogan is this year. It's improving the customer and employee experience.
No, that sounds really, really cool. So are you going to be doing live demos from the rooms? Do you get a chance to actually own it for a little hour and then do a call and get people to share it? Or is it just a space? Because you said you're sharing it with 3 other manufacturers.
It's just a space. So we've got, I think Mark said it's an 8x8 meter booth area. And it's it's because it's not like an event that's at Excel. It's a pop-up booth. So everything we've got there we'll be bringing along with this. We're not having a stand designers come and do that for us. But we will try and make it look like a meeting space that you'd find in any kind of business. You kind of do get that immersive experience of what things look like, how they're positioned, how they're used.
It's all very, very cool. So what do you have behind you? Is it your kit behind you, or is it just other than the games machines, of course?
No, there's actually no games machines here. There's just a screen. You can't see it, but there is a camera above the screen, a sound bar. It's just, let's say, it's just my temporary room. Shame
the new room. We'll do it. What if it gives? We'll do a post Commverse video, and we'll get to see your new room. So that'll be pretty cool.
That'll give me a good reason to get the new office done and completed.
Yeah, priorities, eh? Priorities.
And maybe you'll get your wiring done at the same time, Steve.
Unfortunately, this room is kind of used as it is for what it is now. I've got builders been in all week upstairs, so I need a kitchen and bathrooms and things before I sort my cable out.
There's trunking. You can get trunking, high cables.
No. My stuff is all industrial, so everything is going to be outside the walls. Even the electrical stuff is actually in trunking around the tops of the rooms. And even my piping is in stainless steel tubes being connected everywhere. So now I'm going for an industrial look.
Nice.
So the cables will stay like they are.
Yeah, they will get tidied up a little bit because all this electrical stuff needs to be redone. So that's mainly the reason why it is what it is.
I'm going for the minimalist in my new office. So you'll see devices, but you won't see any cables. It will just be a device on the wall or on a desk.
That's way too boring for me. So I'm not going to go with that line. You've probably got to go.
Yes, I have a meeting that I need to attend.
All right. Well, I think we're all set. So, superb. So when they want to come see you at Commsverse, you're going to be in the room, and it's going to be in the new space as well, where the cars used to be. That's now the extended exhibition space.
We're on booth ME1. Okay, ME1. So ME1. I will be there with the team. We're also headlining the keynote session on day 1 with Giddy Adlersberg, so that's there. If anyone wants to know more, just go onto the Commsverse website, and you can actually look at the schedule and see what we're going to be talking about. We've actually done 2 sessions on that day. We've got a second session which Giddy's doing along with Chris Irons from AVISPL. I can't remember the title off the top of my head, so I'm not going to try and make one up. But
yeah, we could make it up and then just get them to speak to it.
We could.
That would be a bit too cruel.
That's like you. That's something like you creating a title and then not remembering what you are going to speak about.
No, mine's the other way around. I can remember what I'm going to speak about, but I'm damned if I can remember the title. So.
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be around the convergence of UC and AV. We're seeing it across the board with UC, AV, CC, just huge convergence, which really plays to our strength. Because we're able to look at the different elements and merge them together, like we've done with AI summaries in our MTR, as an example of the convergence of AI into the meeting space,
into the process.
And then, of course, meeting Avoca with the contact center piece if you want that within your organization. So it just brings it all together nicely.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll say goodbye for now. Thank you for your patience setting this up. The first one with the new kit. It all came out, which is all good news. And we will see you in June at Commsverse. And
yes.
Jay, we'll see you at the same place, same time.
Thank you very much, guys. Pleasure speaking to you, and look forward to seeing you at Commsverse. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.